China's foreign ministry has indicated that Chinese President Xi Jinping will not attend the upcoming G20 summit in India this weekend. Sazha Jasa reports.
Chinese Premier Li Qiang will lead the delegation representing China at the G20 summit this weekend. Chinese President Xi Jinping will skip the international gathering of world leaders for the first time since the summit was held in 2008. Li is considered as China's second-ranking leader. The premier and other Chinese delegates will represent the country for the two-day G20 summit on September 9 and 10 in the Indian capital of New Delhi. The ministry announced Xi's absence from the international gathering as tensions simmer between China and the host country India over their disputed border and New Delhi's growing ties with the United States. Both countries are also members of the grouping of fast-emerging economies known as BRICS. Russian President Vladimir Putin will also skip the summit. He will be represented instead by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. As international observers presumed Xi's absence from the event as a snub to India, China's Foreign Affairs Ministry has not indicated the exact reason for Xi's non-attendance to the international gathering of world leaders. The G20 summit consists of the world's 19 wealthiest countries plus the European Union. The bloc accounts for 80% of the global gross domestic product or GDP and about two-thirds of the world population. Reporting from Sydney, this has been Sazha Jasa, SM9 News, Australia.
Japan's Prime Minister promised that his country will help ASEAN member states strengthen their digitalization and maritime safety. Natsumi Kojima has the details.
Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has promised to strengthen support to Southeast Asia countries in the maritime safety and digitalization sector. Japan launched a new initiative aimed at strengthening maritime security with ASEAN nations as well as boosting digitalization cooperation with them and training at least 5,000 people over the next 3 years. This plan was announced in a speech to the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum in Jakarta, Indonesia, which is set to host a summit of the ASEAN nations this week. Kishida, together with the ASEAN's top country leaders, will hold a special summit in December in Tokyo to celebrate 50 years of relations, noting that the cooperation between the ASEAN and Japan started in 1973. Kishida is on a trip to Indonesia for the ASEAN summit. He will then travel to India to attend for the G20 summit in New Delhi. Ijo, Nihon kara Kojima Natsumi, News Otsutai shimashita. SM9 News, Japan.
Thailand's new government officially took office this week, which ended months of political deadlock that limited the government's power to implement economic reforms. Chatmongkon Pisamay Goson reports.
Seta Tawisin led the 34 members of his cabinet to take their oaths of office in front of the King of Thailand after he was declared the country's 30th Prime Minister on August 22. The parliament named Seta as the country's new premier after weeks of delay due to disagreements over the formation of a coalition. Thailand was embroiled in months of political deadlock after election winner and Move Forward party leader Pita Limjaroenrat faced setbacks in being elected as the country's prime minister. Pita pledged to amend the constitution and implement changes, particularly in Thailand's decades-old major state law, once he is officially elected as prime minister. However, the election winner failed to get the necessary votes to win the post and encountered strong opposition from the conservative military-backed Senate. The setback forced its strongest ally Pheu Thai party to break the coalition and form its own, which comprises 11 parties. Seta was one of the 3 prime ministerial candidates under Pheu Thai. In his inaugural address, the 61-year-old real estate tycoon said he would formally unveil his policy agenda next week and pledged to lead a government for the people. The oath-taking ceremony was witnessed by Thailand's King Maha Vajiralongkorn and Thailand's Queen Suthida at Dusit Palace in Bangkok on Tuesday, September 5. Aside from being Prime Minister, Seta will also serve as the Finance Minister of Thailand. Meanwhile, Pheu Thai will hold the key posts of Foreign, Defense, Commerce, Transport, and Health Ministries. รายงานจากราชบุรี นายชัดมงคล พิสมัยโกศล SMA News ประเทศไทย สวัสดีครับ